So, I watched it. It was pretty great. It was pretty good. Obviously, you're here because you want to hear me yap a little bit more. So, hope you guys are doing well. Hi, my name's Legit. And basically, we'll be talking about The Monkey today, and if it's worth your time, what I thought about it, blah blah blah, all that kind of stuff, right? It's a Stephen King based movie, which I have a lot of opinions about those Stephen King movies because I think they kind of get overhyped now. I feel like it kind of lost its flair because like you'll see a lot of these like Stephen King movies now, and it's like inspired by Stephen King, and then you're watching, it's like, or it's like, and then like you're always going to have these people that are like, but the book's better, and then it's like, I get it, I probably agree with you, I hear you, but at the same time, dude, like I'm here to watch a movie, dog. I don't give a shit, okay. I'm here to watch the movie. If the book's better, great, that's awesome. I hear you, okay. I want to know this movie's good. And a lot of times, like they feel like they're 6 out of 10s. You know what I mean? Like they're not bad, they're okay, but they don't like peak at you. You know, they don't pop. And there are a lot of like Stephen King movies that like did do that in the past, right? And I'm glad that they did. Obviously the most notorious in my opinion would probably be It. But you got a lot of the other classics that went really well as well. Like was it? You had Carrie, the fucking Christine, was it? The Car. There's a lot of Cujo. Cujo was I love Cujo, bro. And there's another one that had like do with time, where it's like as like, it had to like mess with time. I forgot what that was. Like aging and whatnot. It was pretty creepy. But it hasn't really been too many Stephen King things I would say are crazy. And honestly, Stephen King I haven't really heard too much from, other than the poor dude rambling on Twitter. Bro got rage baited into the politics bad, man. But here's The Monkey, right? Apparently it's based off a short story. I've never read it. But again, it is a horror comedy. Now, I'm very picky about horror comedies, and I think a lot of the time they can be fun, but they don't always do the movie justice. A good example of what I think of as a horror comedy that still does this movie justice and feels so like kind of creepy is Evil Dead 2. I think it's a perfect horror comedy, okay? You watch it, it still feels creepy, it still actually has a plot that you can kind of follow and want to be a part of, and actually there's stakes. But at the same time, though, there's still some things that are like completely fucking off the walls, wacky, and you can kind of let out a chuckle as you're watching this like horrifying event go down, right? I would say The Monkey does that perfectly, and that's why I'm going to talk about it. And before you get anyone even saying shit in the comments, yeah, this is like the Toy Story 3 monkey, okay? If y'all are like, oh, is it Toy Story 3 monkey? Yes, it is, bro. It is literally the Toy Story 3 monkey. And it's canon, by the way. If you want to tell me otherwise, then prove it. Anyways, so, The Monkey, just a little quick synopsis. This monkey has been going down from generation to generation, okay? And people keep getting this monkey in the family. Well, whenever someone turns the key on the monkey, because there's a little key that you turn, the moment he starts doing his little drums, someone dies, okay? And it's been going on for years and years throughout this family, and bad things happen, and they're trying to get rid of this monkey and deal with it. That's all you really need to know. The rest of the movie is self-explanatory. You go through the journey of how they kind of try to deal with it, what happens, blah, 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 blah. It's fun, okay? This is not a movie you take seriously, and I will say, in terms of editing, it is pretty gruesome. Like, there are a lot of scenes where it's like, damn, that just happened. But in the way that it portrays itself, you never like kind of sit there and get too engrossed in it. And I definitely think that's because the editing and the direction of it. I think the editing and direction of this movie is phenomenal. I think they did a very good job. And I think that's what kind of keeps the comedy there. Because like there's a lot of cutaways where it's like right when something happens and it cuts to the next thing. It's like, bro, what the fuck? And I love it. I think a lot of people as well like that. If you're into effects, this movie also has very good effects. There's a lot of deaths in this that are just like completely wacky and fun. And they don't just feel like they're computer-generated slop. A lot of times when I do see deaths, like I really do care about them. And that's why I like watching older horror movies, because like the attention to detail feels a lot more nuanced and like genuine versus what you see nowadays. And I think The Monkey did a very good job with that. Like I actually saw some of these kills and it's like, damn! And then you kind of see like little intricacies. It's like, ooh, it's very fun. It's a very fun movie in that aspect. But the narrative in terms of should you actually care about these characters or whatnot, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really care. The movie is one of those movies where you gotta just kind of like let yourself go, enjoy it, watch it for what it is, and see where that train leads. If you get yourself too enamored in what's going on, I think you kind of lose some of the flair. But regardless, the director, Oz Perkins, I think he did a great job. I really do think this movie turned out pretty damn good. And I don't think there's been a Stephen King movie that's kind of like popped off just by itself, not having to be carried by other IPs, other stuff, like just being, a short little thing, bam. I don't think another one's come out as well as this. A lot of people were trying to relate this to, shoot, what's the other movie that came out? Longlegs. I'm sorry, I think Longlegs is way better. This is a fun movie, right? Very good. But I don't think it's really comparable, because Longlegs definitely takes itself a lot more seriously, and when some fucked up shit happens, it actually feels fucked. Like, you're watching Longlegs, and, I mean, Longlegs honestly feels more like a detective-type movie with, like, spiced in horror elements, right? And then at the very end, you're like, holy shit, well, that all fucking happened. This movie, it's a fun little horror movie. Like, honestly, I know it sounds kind of weird, but it felt like I was watching, like, a rated R Goosebumps episode, okay? I know a lot of people aren't gonna agree with that, but that's how I felt. Or what, like a rated R haunting hour? Yeah, it was fun. And I think it had to be a comedy as well, because, like, dude, how the fuck are you gonna watch a movie and take it seriously with a fucking monkey? Like, a little monkey that goes, ding, ding, ding. Like, how you gonna do that? It doesn't make sense. Oh, my bad. Not the he has drums. He goes, yeah, that's what he does. But it was fun. I mean, it was a very fun movie. Now let's talk about some casting. Theo James did a great job. Theo James did a great job as the role, more or less as the main character. Okay, and I really think that he kind of carried that. I do think sometimes he kind of was held back in some areas. I'm not going to say how or why, just because I mean you can make that decision for yourself. But I feel like he was trying his best to kind of give more of a harder performance in certain areas, but like, because it's a horror comedy, it's kind of hard at times to like actually make you feel empathy in areas, and yet in the kind of very quick cutaways that they do with the comedy, it's kind of hard to choose between that, which one you want more. Because I do think there were moments where they had to choose, okay, is this fucking funny, or do we actually want to have the characters like empathize for each other? I think they did a good job if you watch until the end, which no spoilers for this one. But I will say that you'll kind of feel that. They did get some other actors in here that are good, and I did enjoy, and I probably should bring up. But the other person I just liked was Elijah Wood. He was hardly even in the movie, but he was funny as fuck, bro. He was so fucking awkward. He's in the trailer, bro. Just a little bit. It was funny, bro. I was cracking up. Oh, you know what? Actually, a good way to phrase this, it almost feels like a Quentin Tarantino movie, like if it was a horror movie. That's what it feels like. There's a lot of like just dialogue that feels very Quentin Tarantino-esque, and there's also a lot of like deaths that just cut away, and it feels very Quentin Tarantino-ish. It's really interesting. That's the best way I can put it. Yeah, yeah. But here's what I'll say. Watch it to have a good time. There is a good message in terms of symbolism for the movie, and I do like the movie in the terms that it feels like a full-fledged, well-packaged movie. Like, it's not something you have to like, okay, here's a part 1, here's a part 2, or you have to think outside the box, or it just feels like there's a lot of strings that are just kind of left open. It's like, it actually feels like, honestly, yeah, it feels like a little book in a movie. You can just put in, and it's a good time, and you can just eat it as it is, okay? Feels like a nice little course meal, and you take it as it is. It doesn't have to be this big, gigantic thing. And I like that. I like that for my movies. I don't want my movies to always feel like they're these huge fucking things. I want them to actually just feel fun, engaging, especially for a horror movie. A lot of horror movies, they don't always feel fun. A lot of times, horror movies have to feel sloppish, or, you know, they don't always feel like they're refined. And I did feel like this was like, you know, a nice cut of meat. As weird as that sounds, I felt like it was just a nice cut of meat. It doesn't feel like some slop that was put down my throat, or just something that's kind of weird and fun still. Like, it actually felt just good. And if you're want to like watch something like that, you should check out The Monkey. Okay, not a waste of money. If you have the money, check it out. If you don't, I would say wait. Okay, that's my real review. That's my review for this. Okay, that's my review. And I'm just surprised. That I actually enjoyed it, and especially since it was a horror comedy. Usually I don't get a kick out of it. So that's my rant. I'll give it like maybe like a 7, a good solid 7. Maybe, yeah, that's good. I mean, like, IMDb has it like at a 6.6 or something. So like, hey, I'll be the generous guy here. I'll be the generous guy. I know. I'm just so nice. Or am I? But I don't know. It's just strange. It's kind of strange how early in the year we're getting just all these like wacky horror movies. I'm loving them, dude. Like, I like that we're getting horror movies again. I remember like earlier in the year, I just would go to the theater and there would be nothing for horror movies, and I kind of stunk. I mean, we had Terrifier 3, which is great, but like, you know, it's nice to get this stuff again. So keep supporting these horror movies. If you're a horror fan, we need them. We need to keep getting some original ideas, and things are actually going to be, you know, not just bloated into like, you know, sequels of sequels or like remakes. Like, this is good. I'm happy with that as well. It doesn't feel bloated, and I think that's one thing we actually do need to be very grateful for, because those are the main things that are making money now, which is these remakes of remakes and sequels to sequels, and they're always just being pushed onto these streaming sites. If you want something different, which I know I do, and a lot of people I talk to do want like a resurgence of just original media, you know, when we see something good, we gotta talk about it. So that's all I really gotta say. If you've already seen the movie or you have thoughts about it, you know, like tell me down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think or say about it. It was just really fun, and the kills were fun. You know, it also felt like Final Destination. There's a lot of things this reminded me of. I like more to think about it. But regardless, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember, smile, keep your butt up, and let's fight for a future so bright, so your eyes. My name is Bodhisaya, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Subscribe to Blue Digit.
What?
Do it now.
Hello.
You are a cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Subscribe to Blue Digit or else.